And Ma'am Bebot Castillo, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I am a person that is not usually fond of celebrating achievements and things. In fact, when I passed the bar examination, I just went to the Supreme Court, jumped around a little bit, then went to buy Jollibee in Taft Avenue. So I do not like celebrating achievements kasi I have this perspective that there is always this next big step. Diba? You pass the bar examination, there is always that one big step ahead. You make your first job, there is one big step. Na-person lang po ako na mag-celebrate nung na-promote po ako at kinailangan kong pakainin ng mga tao sa opisina. So, ayun po. So, but again, from that, I want to celebrate this one. I have been harping with my students that I will be writing a book. What kind of book it is, I really do not know. I had the opportunity to write this book this year when I was reviewing my notes. Ironically, for the ever stressful LLM class that we had. So when I was reviewing my notes for our LLM class, I noticed that I have already a compilation of human rights law. I have already a compilation of PowerPoint presentation relating to human rights. Why not organize them into a book? So here it is, a book that I have presented. But more than this trivial reason, it is actually my clients in the office that actually contributed to me writing this book. You know, I work in the Commission on Human Rights. Our clients belong to the vulnerable sector. Being vulnerable, I understand that some of them may have least access to legal education. Some of them may not understand the complex procedures of the law. I understand that. But sometimes there will be just one client that approaches you. In fact, I think it was a few months ago that a doctor actually went to the office crying, bawling her hearts out, na hindi niya maintindihan kung ano na magiging next step niya. And then, doon na ako nagkaroon ng idea na parang, it's not anymore those that are diseducated that do not understand the law. Even those that are actually educated cannot understand the proceedings or have a hard time understanding the proceedings or what they need to do next when their rights are violated. That's why I drafted a work that approaches law in a rights-based perspective. Madaling pag-usapan ang batas or madaling i-discuss ang batas pag nakapokus sa karapatan. Yun ang laging sinasabi namin sa Commission on Human Rights. Mas madali siyang i-discuss pag yung karapatan ang i-focus mo. And ito yung naging approach ng libro na ginawa ko. The book really is talking about what rights to have and what are your remedies if you have been violated, if these rights of yours have been violated. So say for example, you have been abused by your husband, that's a violation of your right to life. So what next steps can you do? What crime can be appreciated or where can you go? If you have been red tagged, yun talaga, pag na-red tag ka, anong next step mo? So those questions are answered by this particular book. Tapos, this book also is a culmination of my, parang magre-resign na talaga ako. It's also a culmination of at least the 15-year journey that I have in relation to law. 15 years? Diba? If I have been known by Rhea Parishop for 15 years, guess her age. Diba? So, for 15 years. So, this already has been that culmination of the 15-year journey. In that, the knowledge that I have taken from people that I have met that have taught me, from Attorney Shobe, from Dean Cora, Attorney Prep, to Judge Carbon, Judge Badiri. This is the culmination of the ideas that they have contributed. And I want to produce a book na nag-embody rin ng Atenean values, Because really, in the Ateneo, as an Ignatian lawyer, you have been taught to become men and women for others. And to a certain degree, I took it a little bit literal. Because now I am working with the Commission on Human Rights. The land of the least, the lost, and the forgotten. So, we meet clients that have almost no remedies available sa kanila. And the book really is also my little contribution to this, to these people. Kumbaga, it is an avenue for them to understand the law better. It's a little bit more friendly, it's a little bit more digestible para sa kanila. So, baka isipin nyo, hindi ko na natubilin ng early pen, para naman pala to sa mga biktima ng abuso. Para din po to sa mga estudyante. Itong libro na to. I have been teaching criminal law since 2018 and other subjects before that. And I have noticed that some of the students cannot actually digest the books that they are reading. They're having a difficult time understanding the books that they have. Don't worry, I also read the books that you were reading. Hindi ko lang naiintindihan, bakit hindi nyo siya naiintindihan? So I figured, why not create a book that is also accessible for the students? It's something that students could actually see how they interact. Makikita nyo paano nag-work yung, paano pag na-arrest ang isang tao illegally, ano yung pwedeng remedies na pwedeng gawin. Pwede bang mag-file ng habeas corpus or habeas ng writ of amparo? Anong criminal case ang pwede nyung i-file? It takes law not only in subdivided subjects. Hindi niya tinitignan na criminal law lang tayo magpo-focus or sa remedial law lang tayo magpo-focus or sa poly. Kasi the reality is that law, the practice of law is a living instrument. Living in that each of its parts are actually just its organs. Criminal law, political law might be the brain, political law might be the brain, commercial law might be the foot, but always criminal law will be the part. So it is the book that embodies that law is a living organism. So ano ba bang i-share ko? Sa pagsusulat ng libro na to, ano lang, gusto ko lang din i-share nyo kasi